So we are doing, so we're live, right? Yeah, we're live. We're live. We are live. Let me see if the microphone is set up correctly, that I'm not on. Okay, should be better now. Should be better now. Yeah. Perfect. We're talking about Solana today. Status quo plus roadmap. And I probably should make I think I probably will make a Solana roadmap actually. And we might brainstorm a bit together. So let me just pop out the chat in case there's any questions. Pop out chat. And then we just have chat over here. All right, perfect. So, okay, repo cloned. Okay, we got it. And then now what I want to do is we're gonna use Opus. Wait, what? There's no 0.5? Really? They removed it from. Okay, we'll just use Big Pickle. Text reasoning. So let's use this one, which I mean maybe it should just be good enough for a website edit. So what I want to do is, you guys have seen and read this today, hopefully. The build your data provider business on top of uncertain systems ecosystem, or stack, maybe I should rename it. But I'm going to talk a bit about these. This is still what's on the roadmap from a Solana perspective, but I think it's important. So I'm going to copy paste these, and I'm trying this interface here. So I'm going to say, can you turn these article into a dedicated page linked at the header menu as well, next to investors. So essentially, all data providers. Exactly, and that's going to be a link there and everything, right? So so they can they can see their stuff. So this page will also include a link to an external front for a data provider to be able to operate the Solana contract and claim rev share, or claim dividends or claim revenue, basically. But essentially, this is the text. After that, run a local dev server so I can test. Okay, so while it does this, let's talk a bit about these. So let's go and do, you know how we have the roadmap thing on Google Drive. So we have Peach Deck and we have the roadmap. So here, so what I want to do is maybe so we're gonna duplicate this, and that's gonna be the Solana roadmap. So that's gonna be the Solana roadmap. What do we have now? Okay, so what do we have now? We currently have, and let's just remove some of these things, because we're not interested in having so many things. But what we currently have completed already is we have the staking contract. that is across everything. So that basically has everything from and this, by the way, is here. So that has in investors, that has everything from passive dividends to the referral partners and the data provider staking. Okay. So we have basically, so we have the dividends. Let's call this dividends. We have dividends. We have the rev share. Obviously, both support legacy Omega. Okay, and then we have as like a little perk there by hand, so to say, and then we have also that other part that is basically the data provider application. Okay, so this is to apply to be a data provider, but yeah, so essentially it's these three things really, and rev share is kind of like the big thing. And so all right, and essentially what this means is that now you can use this contract to do these. Okay, let's see, has it not this. Okay, start the server. But it's thinking, okay. Data providers, components. Okay, it's still thinking actually. It's pretty slow, I have to say. Oh, I actually wrote the page. Okay, no, I did write the page. But it doesn't build. Okay, so yeah, let's see if it actually gets it to work. Anyway, so so we have these stuff. We have, and this is all done, by the way. This is all done. And now what we're gonna have as well as a next, so this is all done. And the next thing that we're gonna have is the data provider. The data provider data provider contract. Okay. So data provider contract. What does this mean? Okay, so this is basically going to be a connection. So that's actually going to connect from these guys. So it's going to be a connection. And I don't know, maybe eventually I will move it. I didn't want to move it. I just wanted to have everything that has got to do with, oh fuck, with staking, sorry, to be actually in the same contract, because it's staking, unstaking, is all the logic is there, right? So it's all the ways that you have to partner with us and all this kind of stuff. And then the idea here is that you have a data provider contract which is going to do something else, which is basically once you're approved, right? Once you're approved, and that's going to be something that I'm going to give a date now in a second. Bring forward. Still thinking. It's pretty slow actually. Why is it that slow? Is it really thinking? Am I interrupting it or? Okay, anyway. And so the data provider contract is going to be a little bit different, right? So data provider contract is going to be, well, the data provider contract is going to be the following. So you're going to have in the data provider contract, let's move this a little bit here because we're going to have another box in here, which is going to be the agent tutoring contract. Contract, or they are called programs in Solana. Okay, so let's call them by what they are. And so the data provider program is going to have essentially a it's going to have a list of it's going to have a sort of a record of like a data ledger, like the data you've provided, you know what I mean? Data index. And it's going to have also attached to this data index, there's going to be a usage index, okay? So essentially we'll be tracking these, and then you're going to be able to actually, based off of these usage, do like it's like rev share, right? Or it's like dividends. Dividends, a revenue share, rev share. So essentially you're going to get rev share out of these. Sorry, I'm being inconsistent with the way that I'm drawing this stuff. But essentially that's what's going to be, right? You're going to have a data index with the data that you're uploading, a usage index, a rev share. The idea of the data provider program is that the idea here is that essentially you're providing data, and rev share is from, again, let me explain this well. Okay, so this is the data provider, say DP. This is data provider. What? Really? Data provider. Then we have an investor. Okay. So, and this might be you, right? So the data provider is gonna basically get the data provider gets they get a sponsor token. God, the fucking size of these. They get a sponsor token. They get 80% of the fees. 20% goes to unseized buybacks, okay? And so they get the sponsor token, the 80% of the fees. They own that from that point in time, right? It's their responsibility to continue these as a business. And essentially what happens is, and I have to think of a mechanism that sunsets, essentially sunsets partnership if data stops. Like, I have to have a mechanism that does this, right? Because I want to, so the user has to have the user has to, the data provider has to keep adding these, right? The data. So essentially that's what it is. And we'll, it's a sponsor token. We'll do a nice campaign and whatnot. And so it's going to be cool. I mean, that's going to be actually a cool thing. So think of these data providers as like really people who will actually have like a theme. You know, it's like they're going to be like, oh, data will I produce? I'm going to produce data about chemistry, for example, or I'm going to produce data about, I don't know, something very specific because it's an area of expertise or area of curiosity that they have, right? So that's that's what's gonna that's how this is gonna look like. And you, as an investor, you're sitting here, right? So you have these, right? So you have access to the rev share. That's what you can do. So you'll be able to stake. So it's also a staking contract, but you'll be able to stake and get a rev share of the data, or that's going to be not rev share but dividends. Pretty much we're going to create like a virtual share system and whatnot, and so dividends of the whatever revenue the data that this data provider is creating, you are going to get, right? So that's why it's worth investing in these data provider tokens, because it gives you the possibility to actually stake and get dividends. There's going to be also probably 3 tiers, and that's what the other guy gets. That's what the data provider gets. Okay, the data provider gets these, and you get that. So these I'm hoping to be done by end of April. We will launch the first data provider in the next days, but the contract is going to be ready a little later, right? So we need to make sure that everything works well, that I know exactly. I need to kind of run through one case to actually, have a good example of like what is needed for all this stuff without having to pre-plan too much. So that's going to be these, and this is done. So this guy is here. This is all done. Can I change the color here? So this is all done, and this is work in progress. This is all work in progress, okay? And the agent tutoring program is going to be the next program, and that's going to be also something but that's going to be a bit different, right? And here's where I need to brainstorm a little bit more. So we are going to use these as proof of tutoring, or proof of usage. So essentially, I want to ensure that the agents actually use the tools. The scenario here is the following, right? I'm talking to my, let's say I'm talking to my Hermes agent, right? Let's open Hermes and let's say, hey, I want to learn quantum computing. Quantum computing on for the next 2 months using OpenLesson.Academy. Can you help me? So you ask these to your agent, right? And then essentially the idea here is interesting. Is it gonna actually use the tool? I don't think so. I think it's just asking a question to clarify. Beginner. Let's say beginner. Yeah, so it's gonna open lesson. But it's not using Yeah, it's not using Open Lesson Academy. Okay, cool. So it designs the plan for you, which is fine. But again, the idea is it should use Open Academy to do these, right? Because we provide the plan structure, and then we provide the harness for running the sessions. The idea is the agent is gonna then get into like an, sort of like automated mode where it's gonna actually schedule sessions with you. It's giving these all the set of tools to the agent to actually teach you these, right? So you don't have to go to openlesson.academy. The agent does this for you. But of course, as you can see, right, like it's like if I didn't read these, like I'm not so sure whether the agent is using Open Lesson or not, right? Or whether it's actually using the whole thing. And Open Lesson is a very specific protocol because Open Lesson is a think aloud protocol. So essentially, what I want to offer is the possibility to basically have proof tutoring on the blockchain where we are like cryptographically logging the sort of the events that the system is going through, that the system is running based off of the usage from the agent, so that you have a way to make sure that the agent hasn't actually squeezed in things in there that are not really what Open Lesson is telling it to do, right? In a way, it's kind of like to keep a log of like a verifiable proof that it's used the system, and you have that there, so you can actually audit these yourself, and you have that proof, right? So we want to leave the proof there on the blockchain, and then give you tools to actually check that the agent is actually doing things well, right? And it's not just kind of like chiming in their own things in there, because especially the protocol, it's important because the protocol has a specific structure, right? So the Think Aloud protocol is a structure where we do not want the system or the agent to give you answers, right? We want the system to actually rather give you questions, and so we want to enforce certain things from a harness perspective. And if the agent doesn't do these, then then we should be able to you should be able to check whether the agent is actually doing that by just checking the blockchain. So we'll provide tools for these. So that's going to be this is definitely going to be probably more like end of May, the whole contract. So that's my guess, or maybe mid-May. I don't know. I'll see. It's just from experience because it's taken me longer to do these than I thought. But now kind of I know a lot of the in and outs of these, and so essentially, this is done. This was supposed to be March. This is done April. This will be mid-May. We're now already mid-April, so that's kind of like probably makes sense. We're gonna have proof of tutoring, and then essentially you're gonna have as well. So this is why I want to brainstorm a little bit. What else could I do there? I think what else is useful. So the idea of an agent tutoring you is good. But I think an important piece, for example, also is to ensure that the feedback comes from the tutoring system and not from the agent itself only, right? So we want to have this proof, but I'm trying to think of other ways that we could improve these. Because once you have proof of tutoring, you kind of almost have a way to prove that you've studied something, right? And yeah, I don't know, there's going to be something else for sure there. I'm kind of like smelling something around the brain configuration topic, where we're going to be getting into potentially storing there other things as well, like a distillation of your um, brain configuration somehow based off of these, so that it's kind of like in a way a badge of like what your knowledge level is or should be. But I don't know, I'm trying to think out loud. So we've got staking for investors, we've got the data provider program as well for all the for people investing in data providers and people that want to build a data provider business on top, right? Then we have the agent tutoring program that is gonna take care of basically storing proof of tutoring. And so also there's also going to be a web front for humans. There's going to be also a web front here, definitely, for humans. What else? What else? It's definitely enough meat here to to work. So this is definitely, let's change these to no, I want to have whatever these. So there's going to be investors. And that's data providers. That's data provider right here, and these for sure. Let's see what has it made the actual website. No, not reachable. I just kind of forgot that it's actually using Gemma 4. I think that's pretty cool, actually. Let's see if we've done like use 3JS. Why is this so fucking slow? I just changed to K2. Like this Pickle thing is just slow. Okay, it's actually index. All right, yeah. Really? Okay. And projects. Can I open it with Chrome? No. How can I open Can I open the browser from the terminal? Google Chrome, okay. Yeah, that works. Okay, interesting. So what? Blockchain simulator? What? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I meant. Oh boy, I meant a block sphere. Oh, it's late. Sphere. Sorry. Scrap that and rewrite from scratch. Okay, but it's not too bad. It's not pretty. A blockchain simulator. What? What in the world have I wrote, man? That makes a lot of sense, though. That kind of makes. I don't know. That makes a lot of sense. I'd say. We've got the staking program. We've got data provider programs. We've got agent tutoring programs. I'm thinking, what else fun could we do in Solana that is also useful for the project? And I know there's a few oddballs. There's a few odd things that I'm kind of brainstorming there. One is, and these ones are going to be orange. So one is like basically it's like stake until you've completed, or you've learned something, right? Only then you get it. Only then you get the stuff back. So that's one thing. It's like paying for the gym. You know what I mean? Oh, it's another file. Okay. Oh God. I don't see anything though. I only see these. Yeah. That's it for me. Don't stop until it works. It loads without errors. It's gotten lazy. All right, cool. So that's one thing. I'm just practicing. Anyway, so what about these? Did it actually? No. Did it actually finish that? And what is going on? What is going on in the world? Why are you thinking that much? Like, don't I have internet, or what's going on? Blocksphere final. It's called it Blocksphere final. Yay, we have the blocks here. I cannot zoom out though. Hadamard. Okay, that doesn't work at all. Yeah, probably not. Goodbye. Where's it going? Goodbye. Whoa, that's a big ball. Probably that. Okay, that doesn't work anyway, but it's actually done something. Okay, yeah, fine. I'm just sorry. I'm just like I'm playing with ESB because generic SAS landing page. Anyway, so it's using that model. Perfect, cool. So we have the stake until you've learned something. That's kind of like a bit of an oddball in there. And I'm thinking along the lines of how could we build something like either a bot, like a trading bot or something like this. How could we squeeze that into the vision? If there's any way that we can exploit any of the things that are interesting in Solana for these. For now, I'm gonna keep brainstorming on these, and I'll share more updates. But I think that is basically what we, kind of what we're building, right? And I'm gonna ask Grok to turn that as well. What did I do finally? These? Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna do these in a techno Numenorian style. So let's see what it does. Cool. And has it actually finished these? Okay, yes, data providers. Perfect. Data providers. So build data provider business. Okay, cool. So let's just review these. So join the ecosystem and turn high quality data contributions into fully tokenized, investable, and rewarded part of the AI economy. Data provider portal, access provider dashboard, operate the Solana contracts and meet data. Understanding the data provider program. So sponsored data providers. Anyone can participate as a provider citizen stake needed for the selected and certain personal concurrency. This is exactly the idea is I vet these people so you can trust these people, right? Investing in the data. When people buy and hold a provider's token, they are effectively investing in the high quality data they provide will contribute. Each data set submitted is permanently added to a GC data set and flagged with the provider's entity. This creates full transparency and traceability for revenue sharing through staking. Exactly, alignment. The economies are designed to reward everyone involved. This gets a clean file. So it's 80% the credit fees go back to their provider to fund their growth, their operations, and 20% automatically directed back to the NC system. This is beautiful. I like it. It's a beautiful website. Benefits, blah blah blah. Smart contract, NC's program ID, view on GitHub. That is okay. That's the old program. That's not this contract yet, but it's okay. So I'm going to say remove these for now and remove the smart contract addresses because it's not this one. Remove this and remove the smart contract. Another one deployed. Then please commit and push to remote. Okay, so we can push this already, and at least we have that published and public. The agent has built that. All right, cool. Okay, I'm not too happy about these. Boop, 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 boop. Not too happy about these. Is this even readable? Okay, Solana roadmap, staking power combination shared, no legacy Omega stake until you learn something. Web from for humans, data providers, sponsored tokens. It's a bit simpler than the other one. The other one was cooler. And our vibe, more depth. Something like these. Less neon colors. Yeah. Let's see what it does. Cool. Yeah, but I think that's it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. That's basically the roadmap, right? So we're done with these, but we're now going to do the data provider program. We're gonna do the agent tutoring stuff. So we're gonna have a full ecosystem where a lot of people can benefit from different things. And I mean, this is big, man, because this is just essentially, essentially that part of these here, that part of these here is also being developed a lot, and then we're going to have then the classroom aspect of it as well. But I want to focus a lot on these. That's a lot of work, as you can see, but we're moving forward slowly. I mean, man, that's taking a good shape actually. Oh, I like that. Can you make the yeah, okay, keep it. I like that. I like that. Love it. Just make the text white. And that's it. And I think we're done. See you guys tomorrow.